Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson. Between the pages today, we travel out west, making a stop at the award-winning Montego Bay Convention Center. We also travel on the road with those without sight to get a better appreciation of how these members of the disabled community get around using public transport. Stay with us as we turn the pages.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, May 14. Farmers in Southfield and Bull Savannah in St. Elizabeth are the recent beneficiaries of new drip irrigation tools and equipment valued at over $69 million. The project will impact about 300 farmers. It is providing each of them with 0.5 acres of drip irrigation hoses, fittings, harvesting crates, and two 1,000-gallon water storage tanks. The irrigation systems will provide increased access to and efficient use of water to boost productivity and consistency in farm yields. The project is a collaborative effort of the Jamaica Social Investment Fund, JIS, and two farmers' groups. At the recent handing over ceremony, Agriculture Minister Audley Shaw expressed gratitude to JIS and the farmers who donated their own resources into innovative initiatives that will contribute to their own livelihoods. He pointed out that similar intervention was taking place at Essex Valley, where 1,000 persons will be impacted by the irrigation and roadworks taking place there.
We are serious about the development of agricultural infrastructure, as this is a critical pathway and the enabling strategy to expand production and productivity in the sector.
The Greater Portmore Ponds wastewater treatment plant is to be rehabilitated over the next 12 months to improve service delivery to the St. Catherine community. The National Water Commission (NWC) says a contractor has been mobilized and work has commenced on the project, which is valued at $828.83 million. The wastewater treatment plant was commissioned in 1991 and is situated on Lower West Henderson Boulevard in Greater Portmore. The scope of work involves an upgrade of the main pumping station, rehabilitation of the eastern ponds and headworks, as well as the construction of new reed beds, which are an important aspect of the overall treatment process. The NWC says the project should result in reduced environmental hazards and risks to the surrounding community, as well as an extension of the customer base and service coverage areas. Infrastructure upgrading in the Mount Salem Zone of Special Operations is well advanced, with about 70% of work under the build phase completed to date. Deputy Chairman of the ZOSO Social Intervention Committee, Omar Sweeney, says the drainage system, road improvement, zinc fence removal, and solid waste infrastructure and collection are going well. He says this year a special focus is being placed on rehabilitating the Mount Salem Primary and Infant School and upgrading of the Mount Salem Police Station. Mount Salem was declared the first ZOSO on September 1, 2017 in order to tackle crime in the area. Since then, the community has benefited from transformational activities in keeping with the Clear, Hold, and Build strategy. Persons suffering from lupus are now benefiting from reduced costs to access 18 active pharmaceutical ingredients used in the treatment of the disease. Lupus was added to the list of now 17 conditions covered under the National Health Fund NHF card on April 30. CEO Everton Anderson says the first beneficiary was enrolled that same day. Mr. Anderson was speaking last Friday at a function to launch lupus's addition to the NHF drug list, in keeping with the announcement made by Prime Minister Andrew Holness during his budget debate. The NHF's CEO says this development was the result of sustained lobbying from stakeholders over the years.
And just to say that we have partnered with the Lupus Foundation on an ongoing basis. And this is a partnership that is strong and that we're committed to work on.
Lupus is an autoimmune disease in which the body's immune system attacks the organs of the body. An estimated 6,000 individuals living in Jamaica have the condition, most of them being females. Mr. Anderson says the NHF will be working to ensure they can access the new benefits from its 415 private providers across the country. And as it works to expand accessibility to all NHF benefits, he says the fund has been able to fulfill the commitment it made last year to have NHF cards available for distribution in every parish.
And as at the 31st of March, we're able to print and deliver cards in every single parish in this country within 15 to 20 minutes.
It is expected to cost the NHF $340 million annually to provide the lupus drug subsidies. The fund is projecting to deliver 2.5 million of those and other prescriptions this year, 1 million more than it did a year ago. And finally, a review of the country's vector management program is to take place in the coming months. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the review will examine the established infrastructure for monitoring and tracking what's happening in the field. It will also look at institutionalizing the work of permanent and temporary vector control personnel.
And one of the things that we're going to be doing is standardizing that program during certain months of the year to ensure that we have those added support in the field.
Dr. Tufton was speaking at the recent official opening of a second national insectary. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Hey guys, have you seen the Child Month calendar? Look, they have so much in store for us. By the way, this year's Child Month theme is Encourage, Enable, Include Me. That means May is celebrating all of us. But you know, special emphasis is being placed on children with disabilities.
And I heard that Jamaica magazine will be bringing us the voices and the stories of disabled children.
Wow. We learn about how the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, as we all know it to be JCDC, is including children with special needs in their programs.
Plus stories and encouragement from adults who have been disabled from childhood.
They're also taking a closer look at deaf etiquette, the causes of various disabilities, how to treat them, and how to prevent them.
As well as where children with disability can receive rehabilitation and assistive aid and become outstanding performers and sports stars.
So, wherever you are, make sure you're locked into Jamaica Magazine each day.
Same time,
same station.
To catch all these features and more. Trust me, you don't want to miss it.
Up next, the latest happenings out of the office of the Prime Minister.
July 29 extension of Western Jamaica State of Public Emergency, child safety, the focus of Workers' Week and Labor Day, and the Prime Minister says only 2% of NID's budget used. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan. The vast majority of parliamentarians have voted to extend to July 29 the states of public emergency in effect for Westmoreland, Hanover, and St. James. During last Tuesday's sitting of the House, 44 members voted for, 1 voted against, and 18 House members were absent. In bringing the resolution for the extension, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said the state of emergency was critical to preserving life.
What we have is a systemic problem that is beyond the capacity of regular law enforcement to deal with. The right to life is being threatened. When you are at 183 per 100,000, the right to life is definitely now being threatened. So this statistic is of 183 is more than what you would compare, for example, with countries that are at war. So we really have a problem that we have to acknowledge.
The Prime Minister also used Tuesday's sitting of the House of Representatives to answer questions about the National Identification System NIDS project. In April, the Supreme Court ruled that the NIDS Act was unconstitutional. Mr. Holness told the House that while the government was reviewing the ruling, it also intended to formulate an appropriate legislation which met the parameters set by the court. Responding to questions, the Prime Minister disclosed that the state had spent 2% of the $68 million loan on the NIDS project.
Of the 1.3 million so far expended, Nothing has been spent on advisors. Nothing has been spent on permanent staff. $17,958.21 on consultants, and temporary project staff, US $496,246.52. In terms of advertising and public relations and communications, to date, US $496,689.58 have been spent so far. Purchase of equipment and technology, US $286,281.35 spent so far. On data collection, zero.
Earlier Tuesday, the Prime Minister was at Jamaica House to launch activities to observe National Workers' Week and Labor Day 2019.
This Labor Day, come out as a village and do what is necessary to ensure that our roads are safe for our children, but also to ensure that our children are able to have facilities for play and socialization within your communities. And generally, not just for children, but for everyone, come out and let's build a Jamaica that we can all be proud of.
Special attention will be placed on children in the traffic environment under the theme Child Safety. It's you, it's me, it's all of it. Mr. Holness told the gathering that statistics showed that 120 children had died and scores more injured in road crashes over the past 5 years.
I want to make an appeal for sanity and good judgment to be exercised on our road. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for your children. Do it for my children. Do it for your children. Do it for our children.
The Prime Minister also called for sharper focus on protecting children from all forms of abuse.
As a nation, we must actively work with law enforcement, not to take the law into your own hands, but to work with law enforcement to ensure that those who commit such horrible acts against the most vulnerable of our citizens are brought to account under the law.
National Workers' Week will also focus on children under the theme Yes to Decent Work, No to Child Labour. Prime Minister Andrew Holness hosted dignitaries from sectors critical to Jamaica's development this past week. Energy security was the topic of Tuesday's meeting with President and CEO of Jamaica Energy Partners Limited, Wayne Mackenzie. On May 9, the Prime Minister celebrated Europe Day with a delegation from the European Union, headed by Ambassador Malgorzata Wasilewska. May 9 also saw the Prime Minister and Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark holding talks with the Jamaica Special Economic Zone Authority and President of the Jamaica Manufacturers and Exporters Association, Metri Siaga. On Thursday, he was briefed on construction plans for the Kingston Police Headquarters at No Man's Land. He was joined by the island's National Security Minister, the Police Commissioner, representatives of the Urban Development Corporation, and architect Gordon Gill. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
The Jamaica International Exhibition is here again with over 300 buyers and suppliers in manufacturing, tourism, agriculture, business process outsourcing, construction, IT, and more. Come see what the market has to offer through a variety of international brands. Open to buyers Friday, May 31 and the public Saturday, June 1, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Entertainment by Dancing Dynamite. The Jamaica International Exhibition, May 30 to June 1 at the Montego Bay Convention Center. Admission free.
So many wish they could visit our shores. We live where they vacation. Brand Jamaica beckons all from the four corners of the earth.
Well, as a Jamaican, I have great pride in selling it. Your pride that you sell Jamaica with is something that it rolls off. Jamaica has so much to offer, and every time I have the privilege of bringing an executive down to Jamaica, an executive from an airline or a tour operator or a travel agency, and you take them across the country. You know, the pride that they said, wow, I can't imagine, especially when it's their first time. Wow, I love this.
Build it, cherish it. Our wealth is Brand Jamaica.
Located on the outskirts of St. James's capital is the inviting Montego Bay Convention Center. Several world leaders have given it a thumbs up as the meeting place of choice. Other than being a location for serious financial discussions, it's also chosen as a favorite setting for saying I do. Journey with us as we explore the halls of this government-run venue.
Functional, a destination for international, regional and local conventions. Flexible, capable of collaborating with other organizations involved in marketing and promoting the country as the preferred destination of choice. Focused, servicing the needs of all visiting groups and individuals, exceeding their expectations. Situated along the elegant corridor of Rose Hall, the Montego Bay Convention Center, with its oceanfront location and panoramic views, offers the very best meeting and convention facilities in the Caribbean. This agency of the Ministry of Tourism boasts a combined 139,302 square feet of meeting, exhibition, and ballroom spaces. The world-class facility provides guests with superior event management and personalized first-class service from setup to move out. A 5-time recipient of the World Travel Award for being the Caribbean's leading meetings and conference center, it is the place to book exquisite meetings, trade shows, and other special events.
The most important and impressive of its achievements has been the successful hosting of the first ever World Tourism Conference in the Caribbean. I think that the way in which the center responded to the demand for a world-class event was absolutely exemplary, and I think we made a great impression on the global community.
What we really do is to host anything that falls under the term event, from supply of technology, such as supply of a fine food and beverage establishment that we do have on property, our own executive chef, our own culinary food production department. When a client is coming in, one of the ease of which they find to operate with us is that they don't have to go to 2 or 3 different companies or persons to do business with us. We have seen tremendous success throughout the year. One such success that we've had was to again nominated and won the World Travel Awards trophy that take into consideration the finest destination of event management within the Caribbean itself. We went up against 3 other facilities, very good facilities, but again for the 9 straight consecutive years, we have been coming out the top winner for this prestigious award. When you have these events that we can bring them in, and especially in the financial year 1920, then you'll see increase in bookings coming to the hotels. You'll see much more spending in the excursion activities. You'll see much more spending in the nightlife within Montego Bay itself. So that is where we look at things, the economic impact.
The convention center is going to come in for far more attention with the expansion of rooms that are coming in this area. As we speak, I'm looking at the potential for 5,000 rooms just within this immediate area alone. And then when you add the broader areas of Montego Bay, the convention center will perhaps have to undergo some renovation and expansion.
You'll realize that especially for technology, you have to have consistent or continuous improvements and inputs. And one of the things that we look at especially, and the local market has picked it up significantly well, the international market, because of what it's been used in the first world, we have to ensure that the convention center, it does have the latest technology and it does have all the latest applications. So not to say what the investments will be, but especially from a technological aspect, we have to meet the first world requirements. So that is an area that we'll always be looking at, always be upgraded.
The Montego Bay Convention Center, an ideal venue to host any kind of event that the human mind can conceptualize.
In observance of Sight Awareness Week, we highlight the work being done by the government to ensure equality for the blind in the public transport space. See now how they move around.
From the fingers of political activist Helen Keller came this oft-repeated statement: "The worst thing is to be born sighted but lack vision." Among our people are many whose sight is impaired, making it more challenging to navigate the roads of our ever-changing national space. Over a decade ago, the state-owned bus company had the vision to recognize their need for a public transport system that is accommodating of all Jamaicans.
I lose my sight. It's going from 89, totally blind, 2004. 89 when I check my sight, 5% in the left eye and 95 in the right eye. Everything goes 2004. Well, 2004, I was fretting on it. I hear about Society for the Blind and Mrs. Wallace, who do the training, who train us to take the bus, train us to go to transport center, walk on the road, walk between light posts, walk on the sidewalk. I prefer to take the JUTC. When I take the bus to the transport center, boy, the customer service is very nice. They ask you where you're going and then take you downstairs or upstairs and then put you on a seat to sit down. Sometimes they wait on you till the bus comes and put you inside the bus and tell the driver, where to let you off.
Since 2005, the JUTC began offering a disabled service, and we did so recognizing that there are other forms of transportation service or operators who do not provide a similar service to members of the disabled community. We recognize that they're an important part of the traveling community, and it is in fact incumbent on us, being a government-run entity, to provide such a service for those who may not otherwise be able to access private transportation services. Over the course of that period, we have also imported several units, several specially designed buses for persons with varying degrees of disability. We have a cadre of customer service representatives who have been introduced to a wide range of customer service related responsibilities and functions. In fact, 10 to 12 of them who are rostered weekly to provide critical care to members of the disabled community. Our customer service agents take them to and from the buses, and of course anywhere within the location of the Harper Tree Transport Center. They also provide sanitary support for them.
I lost my sight last year, February. Taking the transport, sometimes I'm feeling excited. Sometimes, not all times. Because taking the transport, I can miss my steps. When crossing the road, sometimes I'm feeling down. Nervous, like, can't wait to get over it. I can cross in the road, anything can hit me. So those things will run in my intention. Yeah, and hole can be there. And even though the cane will drop in the hole sometime, you can still do wrong things and drop same way. So there's something always come up in my thought at all times. crossing the road, taking the vehicle. And sometimes tears come on my eyes because the way how the person react, people will see me. Some of them will say, you're not blind. And you act like you're blind because your eyes don't look like you're blind.
Part of the training involves engaging the Disabilities Foundation to see how it is that we ought to care for members of the disabled community. So, for example, there is in fact a particular standard and protocol in which persons who are blind, for example, ought to be carried around.
One day I was at the bus stop. I took a bus 46 from downtown, and I asked tell the driver, I said, I'm going at Union Square Jug Serve. And it was a woman driver. And believe you me, when the lady reached Jug Serve, she stopped the bus on the left side there and come out of the driver's seat and take me across the road right to the Jug Serve. I was so pleased, man. You have some nice driver.
The visually impaired individual is firstly someone with basic human rights, those shared by every other Jamaican. And while a disability-friendly transport system may not be on the list of basic human rights, as the JUTC recognizes, it is a critical part of ensuring that Jamaica is truly a place where everyone of every ability can live, work, raise families, and do business.
What can a little germs do?
Pink eye running belly, even flu. Germs can make them happen to you.
Put germs on our manners with these. Cover your mouth when you cough and sneeze. Always wash your hand with water and soap. Keep dirty hands from your eyes and your nose and your mouth. You don't want to be sick, take care. Practice every day, no germs on here. Message from the Ministry of Health.
The magazine closes for today, but please visit our social media pages. We're just a click away. You may also download our app to be notified of our latest stories and features. Don't forget to give us a like or leave a comment on our pages. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.